feel like we're besties now after this. What's up, guys? It's Denise Salcedo. Speak Now Pro Wrestling returns. I am officially back here. Thank you to everybody for your patience, and it's time to get the podcast party started. But I am not alone here today. In fact, I am joined by Righteous Reg, who's here to chat AEW Dynamite with me. Reg, what's up, man?
What's up, Denise? Great to see you back here from Canada. I had a little excursion over there to watch some pro wrestling. We had a pretty fun little Dynamite here tonight. I don't know if everybody on this podcast thought that, but we will soon find out very, very soon.
Damn, Reg, you're exposing me already. You're like, I don't know if everybody on this podcast
I like it. I don't know about the rest of us here. Okay. Off to you, Denise.
I'm going to be real with everybody here today, all right? I'm just like, okay, so first and foremost, I'm on the meds right now. Yep. My face feels, I don't know how many of you guys can tell how swollen my face is here right now. I'm trying to cover it up a little bit.
On the meds sounds so funny.
I'm on the meds right now. Thankfully, I'm not heavily medicated like I was yesterday, but I'm still in a lot of pain. I feel like Mike Tyson showed up to my house this morning and just went bam, 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 all up on my jaw, man. That's how I feel. So my patience is a little bit low. So with that being said, I was watching Dynamite today. I liked probably like a couple things. Mainly, I liked the intro. I liked the ending. I liked some things in the middle. Okay, you know what? I'm lying. I'm lying. I was trying to sugarcoat
Keep it real, Denise.
I liked the opening match. I liked the ending of what we saw in today. I liked one tiny little thing that happened in the middle, but I thought the rest of the show was very, very boring.
Ooh.
So yeah, I'm sorry. This wasn't my favorite episode of Dynamite. And so I messaged you, Reg, and I was like, we were like about an hour and 10 minutes, and I'm like, besides the opening match, the show has been really boring.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's tough, Denise, because we just had so many strong Dynamites going in the Forbidden Door. Like the last 2 or 3 endings previously, we were like, oh my God, this is insane. This is the craziest thing we ever seen. And this episode was just kind of like, all right, we're here.
Thank you.
Wrestling's happening.
Like, was I wrong? Because I know you came out here and you're like, oh, I like today's show. And I'm like, did we not watch the same show here today? What's going on?
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't like anything to really write home about. I like the Moxley and Eddie Kingston dynamic and a lot of it. Well, the first match was really great, but the rest of it was just kind of like, we need to write an episode of Dynamite for today. Go for it. Who's doing it? You know what I mean? Like, it didn't seem like really tough for the future type things. Just like, we got an episode today.
Right, exactly. So, and obviously going into the show, I'm coming off, we're coming off of Forbidden Door. I just got back from Canada, like you said. So I'm still feeling like a lot of the excitement from the pay-per-view. Yeah. So for me, I think like going into the show, I was really just expecting like, I don't know, I was expecting fireworks. Like, hey, we're coming off this big, exciting weekend for AEW. This is kind of the start of, we're getting into what was announced today with Blood and Guts. We're getting Allin in just a bit. We got All Out. Like, we got a pretty exciting summer. So I feel like for the most part, today's show was okay, but it kind of felt like a little bit of a dip coming off of Forbidden Door.
Yeah, I agree. It's really hard to, because they're consistently trying to like promote the next show. Like they're trying to get into the Collision. They're trying to get into telling us about the previous show. And this show just kind of felt like in the middle of all of that. And there was like an elite, Hung Bucks match. Like, I don't know what it was. What was it, man?
We'll get into it. We're going to talk about everything. I'm going to get into more details of what I liked, what I didn't like, as Reg will. But just a heads up to everybody, if you guys want to help support this show, help keep this podcast funded and going strong, help me keep paying people like Reg to come onto the show and have some great wrestling conversations, please, you're more than welcome at any point to send in a super chat. And we got a couple going in here already, so let's get to it. We're kicking things off with Brandon Roseanne, who says, hey, Denise, Forbidden Door was amazing. Omega versus Ospreay was match of the year for me. BTW, I saw you at the show, but was too shy to introduce myself. LOL. Hope you enjoyed the show in my home city. Oh, I feel so bad. If you ever see me, please go up to me. I don't care. Like, don't be shy. I'm really nice. I swear, and I won't bite. I wasn't on the meds that day.
Exactly. Yeah. Denise is a very kind human, very humble. She's very approachable. Don't be afraid. She won't yell at you.
We're
I
out
mean,
here
I
ruining
haven't
the
seen it at
Hollywood
least.
gimmick, though. We're out here ruining the
Yeah, I
Hollywood
mean,
gimmick.
true. That's true. That's true. Also,
Jake Salazar sends in a super chat saying Sting is Cracker Barrel old and he's out here acting a fool. Dude,
Denise,
Sting,
what the hell is Sting doing?
he's 64.
Why is he jumping off of things like that? He's a
Here's the
grandpa.
thing.
He's supposed to be slowly getting into a bath right now, not fucking jumping off ladders like this. What is this?
Okay, look, yes, Sting should not be going out there and jumping off freaking ladders. And he's 64 years old. But with that being said, though, he could be out there just going and playing the hits. He's Sting.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the hits that Sting
Right.
plays, right?
Mhm.
But he's going out there and he's pushing his limits, and you gotta respect that, man. So even though, and there was a perfect fan reaction, by the way, they showed this one shot of this guy who was just like,
Mhm.
oh my God, I can't believe Sting's about to jump off this ladder. And then he does. And
He
the
does it.
landing wasn't necessarily perfect, but oh my God, what
Why
a
was
moment.
the table so far away? I was thinking, I was like Darby would have made that because he's nuts. But I'm like, Sting, that's way too far from Sting. And it seemed a little bit far for Sting, but he got there. But it's like, we don't, dude, play the hits, man. Bring the bat, hit somebody, crow and shit, the reverse DDT, and get out of here. I don't need you doing 450 splashes and jumping off ladders, dude. This is crazy. It's crazy.
It's hard to say for me because I'm like, as we get older, and I think a lot of people can relate to this, Reg, and I'm not going to be here blast people's ages, but for me, 31 years old, right?
Mhm.
I don't feel 31. I still feel like I'm 20, 21, 22. I feel good, right?
Okay.
So I feel like if you feel that way and you're able, and you're an athlete, clearly like Sting is, and you're able to go out there, you start to get around all these guys going out there doing cool shit, and you start thinking, you know what? I feel good today. I'm going to go out there and do this exact same thing because you feel younger sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, if the mind state is I'm young, I'm still out here, I'm Sting, I'm going to fly. Fuck it, let him fly. Let's fly, Sting, get it done. Just be careful out there. Just be careful out there because that was scary. Thought it looked like he busted his mouth. Thought he did it on the table, but it looked like maybe on Sammy's knee or something. So you guys.
Yeah, I think he barely landed it, where it was just mainly like his head and maybe like his upper body that actually like landed on the table. Or it was kind of a weird angle where you couldn't really tell exactly what he hit, but you knew he didn't land like completely like dead center on Sammy.
Right. Just an insane display for a once again 64-year-old man doing that.
Jake Salazar sends in a super chat saying, so Swerve and Keith teaming together again, but we can't get that singles match. Mr. Birmingham will pay for his crimes. Here's the thing, though. So we are going to see Swerve and Keith team up together, and we've all been asking, when is that singles match going to take place? I think this is basically them circling back to it so that we are eventually making our way back to that match between Swerve and Keith.
I wish they never announced this. I want this to be over. I want people to stop talking about Swerve and Keith Lee. It's never happened. Stop trying to make fetch happen. Fetch is never going to happen. Here we go. Back on this match. I thought we were getting Swerve and Keith both away from these things that have kind of been a black cloud over their AEW run. But now we're going to do it again and have people talking about it again. Maybe this will put a bow on the whole thing, and then we could just finally move on forever.
So you don't even care to see the match anymore?
No.
Really? Did they just kill it off for you completely?
It's over. Yeah, it's way too long. Like, they've been doing this since they both got here, essentially. Like, Keith Lee is still doing this. It's like, I want to see him interacting with some other people. Why is he still getting beat up by Swerve? Over. I'm done. I don't even care about a match. I don't care. I don't want it. I don't want it.
To me, it feels like a stop and start type of thing, right? Where they started this whole thing with Keith Lee and Swerve, and they took too long to get to the actual moment between this match. And so then what ended up happening was you ended up seeing Swerve go off and start doing other things and get over doing those other things. However, this story with Keith Lee is still unfinished, and Keith Lee necessarily hasn't done anything. So it still feels like this needs to finish here. But here's the thing, like, what do you do here? So do you have Keith Lee defeat Swerve Strickland right now that Swerve is on a much faster momentum, going on a much faster pace? Or do you have Swerve defeat Keith Lee and then kind of kill anything that Keith Lee even has going on this roster?
Exactly what you're saying here is the problem. because it seems like everything that happened to Keith throughout the feud would lead to him winning the match because he has to get some kind of comeuppance. Service busted that big cinder block over him. They've jumped him a bunch of times. They've had him lose matches. He's been thrown out of the battle royal, all kind of stuff. And like the result should be Keith Lee winning, but you can't have Keith Lee win because Swerve's on a different trajectory from that. He doesn't need to be. I hate wins and losses and all. That's usually very stupid, but you would need to further more of the feud if Swerve wins, and he doesn't need to win. So I don't know. They're kind of painting themselves into a corner, it feels like.
Right. I almost kind of I almost feel like if you want to keep Swerve's momentum, you got to have him defeat Keith Lee because that will mean even much more. Where I feel like you can start all over with Keith because Keith is still going to get over regardless.
Yeah,
so I feel like they can find a different way for Keith Lee to get over and have Swerve still defeat him. But obviously, this is all going to happen. Who knows when it's actually going to happen, right? The singles one-on-one match.
Yeah, right. Could be anytime. Could be immediately after that, or we could be building to some more. I have no idea.
Grapple Geekery sends in a super chat saying it was a fine episode of Dynamite and I liked it fine, but it wasn't bad or fantastic. It was mid.
Yeah, it's pretty mid.
Grapple Geekery also says, also, RJ City and Shivani are clearly fixing the tag team draws, aren't they? That's true, right? We got Adam Cole and MJF. We got Swerve and Keith Lee. Come on now. Who are we going to get next? Sting and Chris Jericho?
Right. Yeah. It seems like a bunch of feuds besides like Darby and Orange Cassidy. That's the only like they're actually friends tag team. It's a bunch of everybody's favorite will they coexist tag teams. And I'm like, I complained about this already. I don't know if I like this. They have so many great tag teams. Why are none of them going to be in this damn tournament?
Matt Reichel sends in a super chat saying, hi, Denise and Reg. Dug the vlog, Denise. I love Eddie and Mox. Hope to see you guys in the awesome city of Chicago. Are you going to be at All Out?
I am trying to make my way to All Out in Chicago. They just announced StarCast. There's a bunch of very cool events going on out there. I think I'm going to make an appearance. Yeah.
You know, I've never been to StarCast ever.
Me neither.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay, see, I don't feel alone now. I feel like that's like the one thing that everybody's done, but like me.
Yeah,
so now I'm glad I don't feel alone.
Haven't. We gotta check it out, Denise.
Oh, we'll see. All right, Heidi Ho sends in a super chat saying, I was actually excited to watch AEW since I thought Forbidden Door was over. I stayed down to watch it live, and then I saw what the first match was and turned it off and went for a ride. What? Heidi Ho, what?
That was the match of the night. That was the best match. That was the whole show.
Actually, let's get into it right now. Let's talk about this match because we ended up getting a killer, phenomenal match that I really enjoyed between Tomohiro Ishii and Jon Moxley. And what we saw in this match was both guys literally chopping each other nonstop, just going to it. Then at one point we
started the match just chopping each other to death.
Yeah, so they're chopping each other like trees. Moxley then starts biting the nose of Tomohiro Ishii. Then Ishii, of course, returns the favor. He ain't gonna let this guy bite him and not return the favor. Afterwards, we see Eddie Kingston comes out with a chair, and he basically goes out there to keep away the other members of the BCC from getting themselves involved in this actual match. From there on, we see more chops. We see at one point, Jon Moxley hit Ishii with a rolling elbow that knocks him down. We see him hit Ishii with a pile driver. Afterwards, he gets Ishii with a bunch of elbows, but then Ishii just starts flipping him off. They butt each other's heads. They slap each other. In the end, we do end up seeing Jon Moxley get the win here. But what did you think of this match?
This was a New Japan match in AEW. Just gritty, raw. Like I said, they're chopping each other to start the match. Moxley, of course, is bloodied at some point. They are just beating the crap out of each other. Hard suplexes, Japanese strong style back. The type of match when you see Ishii, this is the type of match you want to see. Here with Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley is on display. He's intertwined in one of the hottest feuds in the company. He's mad as hell. They were a lot going on at Forbidden Door. He wants to get his revenge, and he got his revenge right here. What a great way to start the show. I thought that Moxley, the thing that was crazy is in the presser, Danielson talked about Ishii and said that he wanted to get revenge on him for pinning Yuta. So potentially this could have been Bryan Danielson and Ishii in a match, would have been insane. But Jon Moxley came and showed that, no, I'm not no replacement. I'm nobody. I'm Jon Moxley, and I'm going to show you how to get down. I loved it. It was a great way to start the show. I thought it was going to be all fire from there, but
It definitely wasn't on fire from there, but it was pretty much like the most lit thing on the show. I will say that. But here's the thing also, there's something that you mentioned in here that I wanted to touch on, because you're so right when you said, when you have Ishii and when you have Moxley in this match, and especially Ishii, because I just freaking love this man, right? But this was the match that you want. You weren't going to take anything else. This was exactly what we wanted, and this is the exact style that they gave us. And I think anything else would have been a disappointment, but they went out there and they gave us exactly what they knew we wanted, which was just a hard-hitting fight between both of these guys. And you can tell that they were both enjoying it too. You mentioned Jon Moxley getting busted open. The man's always busted open. He's busted open all the time.
He walks out busted open. It's funny. The funny thing about Ishii, I think, is he's the hardest working New Japan guy that comes over. If you watch any of his matches, the Japanese guys sometimes could be taking it a little easier than you would like him to, but he never takes it easy. Every match he ever has, he's Ishii, he's him. He's going to be fighting. He's going to be headbutting. He's going to be suplexing. That's what I just really loved about him. And it was here on display again. He was like, okay, look, I know, we've heard a couple of things coming out of the show that a couple of the Japanese stars were like, oh, they wish we had a little bit more during Forbidden Door. We wish we were involved in a little bit more. Ishii came out and said, yo, it's your boy. I'm going to bloody this fool up. We're going to start Dynamite and we're going to keep it hot. And I'm just
you can definitely tell.
Fan.
He had a different mentality, I think, going into it. But it was a very entertaining match. So definitely one of the strongest points of Dynamite. For sure, the best match of the night. That's for sure. Right. We got another super chat here from Magnum Wayne, who says, only caught the main event, but I found it fun. Not my fault. Women are time vampires. LOL. I love you, Kate. Hope you feel better soon. Denise. Hi, Reg. Got a lot in here, Magnum Wayne. Thank you so much for the super chat. Jason PS3 says, I'm honestly for Dynamite. The crowd made it boring to watch. The crowd wasn't digging it too much and during certain points of the show, but I did not necessarily blame them on this one.
Yeah, that's we've been a part of crowds where that's kind of been a thing where they say, like, after the show, well, the crowd wasn't the most excited. Could it be that, like, spending a whole however amount of time they're going to be spending in Canada could be too much? We just had Forbidden Door. They just had 2 shows before that in Canada. Could it be overload? Or do you think it's just maybe just a weird night?
I think maybe it was just the night and what they were being presented with, because all the moments where I noticed that the crowd wasn't reacting were the moments that I was paying attention to something other than what was going on in the ring, because it wasn't necessarily grabbing my attention. So I felt like, okay, well, if I'm bored, well, why isn't then clearly the crowd's going to be bored, right? It goes
1 + 1 equals 2, Denise, for sure. Like, if I'm bored, it probably means that they're bored too.
1 + 1 equals 2. Okay, Reg, that's officially, that needs to be a t-shirt. You need to put it 1 + 1 equals 2. I'm dead. I can't anymore.
If I'm bored, then
I can't laugh, Reg. It hurts to laugh. 1 + 1 equals 2. If I'm bored, the crowd's bored. We both bored. All right.
Exactly. That's it.
I'm moving on. Chi-Town Spurs says Sting loves the game. Yeah, he surely does.
Yeah.
And Mike Parker PWMM says, I did enjoy Renee going off with Mox and Kingston. One of the highlights of the show for me. I'm glad they finally did something like that. And so let's talk about this, because after this match with Ishii and Moxley, we ended up getting a backstage segment where we saw Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston arguing, getting each other's face, and Renee gets in there. She tries to stop them. What do you make of this portion? Obviously, we're going to talk more about them later on, but what did you make of this portion of it all?
I thought it was really strong. Renee getting involved and kind of being like, I'm tired of you guys' shit. John's coming home with this. You guys are supposed to be friends. I love how at the end she was like, Eddie, deal with this. I'm tired of you guys this infighting. And Eddie always has a really soft spot for Renee when she does get involved, where he's just like, she always like kind of centers him back to like reality, because in the interview he's like yelling, he's talking shit to Yuta and Claudio, and Mox is like just blowing him off. I thought it was a really strong segment from all of them. Claudio being in the back like, ha ha ha, fuck you, Eddie. Moxley's just like, dude, you guys are still you're rehashing old Chikara beef and all this stuff. All kind of fun stuff in that segment.
I also liked that right before that, immediately after the match ended, Eddie Kingston was telling John Moxley, that was you. That was
Yeah.
you. You did that. Basically telling them you don't need all these other guys because you did that. I thought that was
Right.
something that was, pretty interesting in that portion of it all.
Do you
James
think they're
Hammond,
gonna have a singles match? Do you think that's what this leading to?
it
Eddie
has
and
to, right?
Moxley? Yeah.
It has to. I feel like at this point they've teased it so much that we have to see something here where it's almost one of those things where you get two best friends, right? Two former best friends that have had this whole history, ups and downs and all of this. And then they finally have this moment here on AEW where they can, I don't know, just let it out. Let it out. And then we'll see what
Just two
comes up with
brothers
that.
going at it, and then afterwards we could shake hands or hug or not, or whatever. Yeah, totally.
Or who knows, maybe something can happen in the match where like they go through hell with each other. And then afterwards it's like this moment where it's, you know what? You did that. I did that. Fuck it. Let's shake hands.
They're
or
both
something.
bloody and they walk off together. Yeah, totally.
You're right. They'd both be bloody, walking off, putting the boat, raising their hands together. We're friends again.
It's the only way the match could end because we don't want them to hate each other. They love each other. They're just two brothers that want to go at it. Eddie hates his friends, and Mox is like, my friends are cool, dude. Get with it.
Hey, man, I get it. I feel like we've all been there where we've had a friend that we didn't like their friends, but we got connected through mutuals, but we don't like each other.
Exactly. And yet that one mutual friend's like, it's cool, man. Don't worry about it. Just hang out. Why are you talking about old shit?
Exactly. See, we've all been there. All right, we got James Hammond who says Jurassic Express reunion or keep Jungle Boy single. We'll talk more about Jungle Boy in just a hot second because that one's going to be a hot topic for tonight. Chi-Town Spurs says Undertaker could never.
I mean,
he's not wrong.
Yeah. Points are being made.
He's not wrong. Chi-Town Spurs is not wrong. Jake Salazar says Claudio and Eddie teaming together, huh? Question mark.
I could see them doing that in this dumb blind tag tournament.
And we also got Grapple Geekery saying Claudio and Eddie, can they coexist as a tag team? Question mark.
Everybody's in.
Also, thank you so much to Magnum Wayne, who just became a member here of the DWO. Thank you so much for joining the YouTube channel. New vlog is up. You guys can watch my Canadian experience and Forbidden Door. The vlog is up, and you can check that out for members only. All right, so let's continue on, and let's talk about what else went down here with the BCC and the Elite. So later on in the night, we had the Elite issue an open challenge, and the Dark Order ends up accepting that challenge. And backstage, we have this little bit of a rift between the Dark Order and Hangman Page because we all know that the Dark Order has always had Hangman Page's back. And Hangman Page is almost like forgotten that or is not really caring about that.
Yeah, he's blowing them off.
Yeah, he's kind of being a little mess. He's kind of being a jerk here where I'm kind of finding myself siding with the Dark Order. But we end up getting this match here. During this match, we see Evil Uno slap Hangman Page. That was pretty savage there, actually. They exchanged rights and lefts. That was actually my favorite portion of the match itself. And there's a moment where Silver and Reynolds almost kind of defeat Adam Page there for a second, but ends up being a near fall. In the end, we see a buckshot lariat from Adam Page for the win here. But what did you make of this portion of the Dark Order versus the Elite? And what do you make here of everything that occurred between the Dark Order and Hangman?
I like the backstage segment where they the whole Elite was kind of trying to play the Dark Order. They're like, hey, you guys are walking in our shots. You guys are silly, just like acting like they're jokesters. And the Dark Order's like, no, we're not joking. Like, we want to fight Hangman Page because he's supposed to be our friend and he's been blowing us off and acting all Hollywood, hanging out with these guys. We want to fight. Really strong match. I love that it wasn't your typical flashy young buck stuff because the Dark Order was trying to establish that, no, dude, we're mad. We want to fight. We want to punch each other. We want to headbutt. We want to get it raw and dirty. But the strongest part of this is the post-match, I thought, which when the BCC comes out to attack the Elite, they got chairs. They bloody up Hangman. Hangman is just gushing blood all over the apron. And then Moxley announces that July 19th, TD Gardens, Boston, Dynamite, it's going to be blood and guts, the Elite versus BCC. We don't know who exactly is going to be in the match yet. There's some different extracurriculars that are going to change things, like Eddie Kingston being in the G1. So it's going to get interesting. Denise, do you have any surprises you think that might be a part of this match?
Man, I don't know, because I'm looking at this first of all, and I want to point out that there was something that I really liked in this. And
Mm-hmm.
we're talking a lot about the Dark Order and Hangman, and there was a portion where when the Dark Order was watching
Mm-hmm.
Hangman and the Elite essentially get beat down, when John Moxley went in there and even put the screwdriver on Hangman, they gave zero
They didn't
F's.
care.
They did not care, and they walked away. And here's the thing, like, I don't know if that makes them heels or not, because I kind of agreed with, you know what?
Yeah, you didn't care about us, bro.
granted.
Why are we supposed to care now that you're getting bloody? We've been trying to be your friends and you've been blowing us off. So see you later, dude.
I liked this. Because when they did the Dark Order versus the Elite, I'm like, oh man, I don't really care for this match. I was like,
Yeah.
seen it, been there, done that so many times. I get that they're trying to move forward, you know, trying to maybe wrap up the story with Hangman and the Dark Order and maybe explain that. But I didn't care. And then they made me care with this one little thing. All of a sudden, I'm going, finally, they grew a goddamn backbone here.
Exactly. They've been getting walked over by so many people. They're continuing this thing in the Ring of Honor where they're in a feud with the Righteous. It's kind of the same thing of like, you guys ain't down. Nobody cares about the Dark Order. You guys lost so many members. And that's what the pre-tape led them into, that of them being like, they think we're jokes again. And like, if you think I'm a joke, well, I'm not going to save you then. I'm going to continue to be a joke over here. Have fun with it, dude.
We got Zeno Hour here who says a Dark Order are heels now.
I think so.
Okay. I feel like they are, but at the same time, I'm not completely saying that they're the bad guys here. I like it. I like it.
Also, they're not really, that wasn't a heel move. If in some cases, some people would be like, no, they were just standing up for themselves pretty much.
Right. So in terms of, so Blood and Guts, July 19th, like you said, TD Garden, and we're officially, it's going to be the Blackpool Combat Club, the Elite. Clearly, they haven't technically accepted, but from the looks, but it's clearly happening at this point. Why tease us, right? Clearly, it's happening. It's just not official yet. So you're going to have Hangman Page. You're going to have the Young Bucks. Do you think they're also going to have Kenny in it?
I would think Kenny Omega is going to be a part of this.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah, he has to be. I just thought about it. Brian and his broken arm, he can't be there. Oh man. You're right. Because that's in a couple weeks. There's no way it's going to heal before then.
No, probably not. So then who else would you add with the Elite? Is there anybody that would make like the most sense?
I mean, there's a big tease. Everybody's kind of expecting possibly Kenny Omega's talking about having friends. Who's Kenny Omega's friend? Everybody thinks Kenny Omega only has one friend besides the Elite. Kota Ibushi could potentially be a part of this match announced. And imagine how insane that would be. He's a nut. We haven't seen him in a crazy plunder match like this in a while, so it'd be pretty interesting to see him involved in that. I'm wondering who's going to help out the BCC on their side. You lose Brian. Brian's a big part of this.
Yeah, I'm kind of depressed about that one, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. It really sucks. I hope he could get healed before like Wembley, but I mean, that break looks pretty crazy.
How long did he say he was going to be out for?
He said 6 to 8 weeks on the night, but then when Bree posted the thing on Instagram, it seemed like it would be more. So,
oh shit. Okay. Yeah. So we're at least looking at over a month, right? So
yeah, totally.
So because he could make it by All In, right? He could make it for that All In show, but we're talking about that's like 2 months away, maybe even less. I don't even know right now. But the point is that if he does make it for All In, he's cutting it super close,
insanely close. Like it had to be. It luck at this point, and so.
Or who knows? They might just save him and have him come in and make this big giant return at All Out, because that's like a week after.
Exactly, because you don't want to rush him back just for the sake of some match, because you got to think about his health more than, us having a great match.
Right, exactly. So
we love wrestling, but we also love our superstars resting.
We got some more comments here. This one's from D. Laura, who suggested about Evil Uno going up with the BCC, joining them there for that match there. Given that little interaction that he had with Hangman Page, and given that he has a reason to want to be on the opposite side, I don't hate it.
Yeah,
it's just not like how do I say this? I don't see it as a big enough name.
Yes, exactly. It'd be great. I think, and Uno's a great wrestler and amazing, but I think people are like expecting something else.
Right.
Nothing against Evil Uno. He's great.
Yeah, nothing against Evil Uno, but let's be real. All right, so we got Mac from BK who says, "What with Danielson's injury? Do you see Ibushi being in blood and guts?" There's another person bringing up Kota Ibushi. So clearly Mac from BK and also Reg bringing it up here. I think that would be a really awesome thing to see, but we can only dream at this point. We can only dream. Alex Wynn sends in a super chat saying Chris Hero replacing Danielson ? Back with Claudio. Thoughts on that, Reg?
Chris Hero has been around some things in AEW. If anything, if a great return would be this, like if you're pitching like something like, hey, we haven't been in a match in a long time, we can get you over here. That would be very interesting. I like the way you're thinking, Alex Wynn.
Alrighty, thank you so much to Alex Wynn for sending in that super chat as well. Alrighty, and let's go ahead and press on from here, and let's get into Adam Cole and MJF. So Adam Cole and MJF show up at the exact same time. MJF tells them like he doesn't believe that he was sick at all, and he tells them
good excuse.
Yeah, good excuse. And you know what this reminded me of? You know when you're like, when you call, have you ever called in sick to work, Reg?
Totally.
Okay. And you have to like sell it to your boss, right?
Yeah.
But then the times when you are sick,
when you really are sick,
yeah,
right?
you feel like you're lying. That's what this reminded me of. Like when you're really sick and all of a sudden you feel like you're lying, but when you really were lying, you're like, yes, I got away with it.
It is that it does give up big I wasn't really sick vibes.
So MJF wants to bond with Adam Cole. So we're going really deep into this coexisting stuff. He wants to bond with Adam Cole before their match. Cole agrees. And then MJF tells him he has a gift for him. And he presents him with a Better Than You Baby t-shirt where the Better Than You part is in Burberry. And then the baby part is in gold. So a mixture of both of their sayings and both of their prints. And then later on, we have another backstage segment where Roderick Strong approaches Adam Cole and he tells him like, you can't trust MJF, right? And he tells him like, I know, I'm just he reassures him that he knows exactly that he can't just trust MJF and he's just going along with the ride. And then MJF comes in and he tells Roderick Strong, what's up, generic white guy? I died at this. Yeah. And they go off and they do their thing. I feel so bad to say this, but when I think of most generic white guy, I do think of Roderick Strong now that MJF mentioned it. I was like, I see it.
Roddy can work though, but yes, I agree. He's a great wrestler though. Like he could go, and the Samoa Joe match is gonna be crazy, but that was so funny.
I love this. So because this is what I want to see from the MJF Adam Cole thing. Yeah. If you're going to do this whole coexisting thing, if you're going to do this whole their bonding thing, I want them to get creative here. Okay. I want to see them bond.
You like these shenanigans? You want to see like some the cutscene montage they're playing in the background. They're like going to try on outfits together. They're like fishing together,
but they can make
new
it funny,
foods in the food court. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Not cheesy though. Funny like in a way where maybe MJF is being like obnoxious, or maybe Adam Cole is just like pretending, but is secretly kind of messing with MJF. Okay. I don't know. Like they can kind of figure something else where they can make the dynamic feel fun instead. Because I don't want it to be wacky. I don't want it to be what it was with MJF and Sammy Guevara.
Right. Yeah.
That was painful.
And that's what I fear anytime MJF gets into these kind of feuds where he starts the MJF train of whatever, however he builds with the feud. This time it's going to be trying to convince Adam Cole that he wants to be the tag team champions. And the funny stuff could get a little bit too much. And I hope they don't get too far into that territory,
Right, exactly. Because at the end of the day, you still got your champ and you still got a story to build here. And we're still at some point going to get MJF Adam Cole. So by the time we get to it, we want to feel like it's a big deal of a match versus, it's just like whatever's.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't want to get there. You don't want this to all be for when we do get to the match. We're like, I don't care anymore. All that stuff was so dumb. Like
exactly. Thank you. Like where you're just like, oh, I hope this is over and done with.
Sometimes your guy, main event Jericho can get stuck into that, and it's like, dude, just get to the match.
Just get to it. All right, so let's press on from here. All right, and just a heads up to everybody once again, if you want to get your questions, your comments, your hot takes, your cold takes, feel free to send in a super chat and we will make sure to read them. So Here's this next part where I'm going to turn heel a little bit. All right. So here we go. This is my official heel turn for everybody. Sorry if you were a fan. I'm a heel now.
Yes.
Yeah, we had El Hijo del Vikingo, Orange Cassidy, and Keith Lee team up against Daniel Garcia, Angelo Parker, and Matt Menard. I'm just going to be real with you when I say this. I did not like this match. And I'm gonna tell you why I didn't like this match. I didn't like this match because on one hand, you get all these guys that, Orange Cassidy's freaking amazing, Vikingo's freaking amazing, Keith Lee's pretty damn freaking cool. Then on the other side, you get Daniel Garcia, who's pretty great too. But I'm just not that big of a fan of Angelo Parker and Matt Menard. So I felt on one side, you've got this loaded team that can do all of these different things, right? But then you put them in there with guys that I didn't feel like their styles necessarily meshed here.
Yeah. So I think this is more, they're Canadians, the Angelo and the 2.0. They're trying to pay tribute to the Canadian people, put them on the show. But I kind of understand it. Did just feel like, well, what kind of match could we have? Let's have a 6-man. Who's here? Orange Cassidy, blah, 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 blah. So I'm not mad at it. But Kingo's there though, so I can't ever really be like, down with this match because my guy's going to be in there doing some crazy shit.
And speaking of Vikingo, I got so irritated when he went out there and he had a spot, right? And then Keith Lee doesn't catch him. And I'm like, bro, you're Keith Lee. Like, if I was Vikingo and I'm like, I'm going to be falling on Keith Lee, great. This guy's a big dude. He's going to catch me easy. Man doesn't even catch him. And I'm there like, come on, bro. Like, poor guy just freaking landed on his back all ugly on the mat and he barely caught him. And that was kind of irritating for me. Like, I hate seeing stuff like that. Because here's the thing, if Rey Mysterio, little ass guy, can catch anybody, Rey Mysterio never ever fails to catch anybody. Then you have no excuse. You be out there catching people.
And you guys see, well, I don't want this damn swerve match. But look, things happen sometimes, Denise. Sometimes people don't get caught. There's adrenaline, there's sweat, there's the light was in my eyes. There's all kind of different reasons why this could have happened. No, that's really unfortunate, man. If somebody puts their life on the line, just catch them. That's it. There's like one rule. Just catch them.
Exactly. So little things like that do kind of frustrate me a little bit, but whatever. No big deal. I ain't getting in there. But the point
I want to know how you felt about Jungle Boy's promo. Let's get to that.
Let's get to that. Okay, so did you like this match, by the way?
I could have done without it.
You see what I mean? You see what I mean?
Exactly what you mean. I like Daniel Garcia doing his little jig on top of Keith Lee, but like for the most part, it was just kind of like,
Thank you. Because I went online and I saw these people going like, oh, that was so much fun. And I'm like, what you guys watch? What's happening here?
Hey, watch that match, Denise.
Boggs Biaga says Sports Entertainment Salcedo respect. Thank you, Boggs Biaga. All right.
But that was Super Sports Entertainment, and she said she didn't like it. So I don't know.
That's true. I don't even know what's going on anymore. All right, let's get into the Jungle Boy stuff, like you said, because I think this one here is going to be a little bit conflicting in terms of people were shitting on this online, completely shitting on this. So here's what went down. Jungle Boy Jack Perry, as you guys remember, turned heel at Forbidden Door. We all saw this coming, but he officially turned heel and turned on Hook, his bestie, his buddy. He comes out with shades. He's got his hair back, all of this. He tells people, we're not hearing my theme anymore. This song's over. I'm tired of it. He gets into the ring. He goes off and he says, I'm still young. I'm still cashing fat checks. And I'm still banging the hottest bitch in this entire place. Then he says that he did not turn on Hook, that the people turned on him, that he got screwed from the title 2 times. He was getting heat here. Eventually, Hook comes out, chases him, and Jungle Boy runs away. What did you make of this? Oh, we do see him get away in the getaway car afterwards in the back.
Somebody's gonna like run back the tape of us being like, this Jungle Boy heel turn's gonna be the big kicker and you're gonna blah blah blah. As a first heel promo, needs some work, big dog. It wasn't the best. I knew like as soon as he started walking down with the mic and I was like, oh, this isn't gonna hit as hard as I want it to, because it's like I knew what he was going to talk about. I knew what points he was going to go over because it's like just heel 101, but it felt really just like cliche. It was like, and I got money, and I got a hot girlfriend. It's like, yeah, we know all those things, but like just the way, maybe it was the delivery, the way that he said it, it didn't really hit the hardest for me. What did you think about the promo, Denise? Did it light your gears?
So here's the thing. When he was coming out there and saying, like, I'm still young. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
right. He's young.
Mhm.
When he said, I'm still cashing fat checks, I'm thinking, I didn't necessarily think of you as like the richest guy on AEW.
No.
When
Mm-mm.
MJF comes down and he's talking about his money,
Yes.
I believe it,
Totally.
right? Because we know he's up there. You know, he's making that bank, he's making
Mhm.
that cash. Jungle Boy Jack Perry, I'm sure he's getting paid very fine,
Definitely.
but you can't go out there and brag about money unless the checks are really, really fat.
And like he didn't come out with like a great outfit that make me think like, oh, he changed the game. Like now he's balling. He's like, you had on this outfit last week. You're not really killing it with your leather jacket, bro.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So you need to make me believe it. Like I need you to,
Right.
if you're gonna go out there and start talking about your fat checks, you're gonna have to make me
Show me.
believe that,
Mhm.
right? And then he says, I'm still banging the hottest bitch in the entire place. And I'm thinking, oh boy,
Yeah.
I knew that line. First of all, it was a savage line. It got a reaction
Yeah.
out of me because I'm going,
Right.
damn.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, I know that people online are not gonna like this line at all. And they did not. I read the comments, I saw them. I think he could have said something along the lines of, I'm still banging the hottest chick in the entire
Yeah,
place.
just adding hottest bitch is just like you knew that
Right.
people weren't gonna like it.
You're a heel. You're supposed to be a heel to the people, not a heel to your girlfriend.
Right. Exactly. Like unless she was like, call me a bitch out there, but that doesn't sound that
But
sounds
here's the
crazy.
thing, though. It depends, I guess, on the person, right?
Yes.
I don't know. Like, if I were, look, let's just say this. Like, let's say, I don't know, my man was a wrestler and he's out there calling me a bitch, right? To make it funny, I would go out there with a I'm his bitch shirt.
Yes. Or
Right?
like
You
if
gotta play
Jade
off of it.
Cargill's husband was doing a promo and he was like, my wife's the baddest bitch, you'd be like, yeah, she says that every week. But
Yes.
like, you know what I mean? I can't understand in that way.
Right.
Totally.
So I think he should have maybe said like, oh, the hottest chick in this entire place. Because then that gives him some credibility of like, oh yeah, look at him be a man. And he's out there, you know, scoring with one of the hottest girls on the roster. Cool, right? You get some little respect there, right? But if you're calling her a bitch, I'm like, bro, you guys are supposed to be on the same page.
He's on there scoring with the hottest guy. Scoring is so funny.
Wait, are we not saying scoring anymore? I just felt terrible saying banging.
I don't think people say scoring.
People say
this
scoring
isn't
all
Saved
the
by the
time.
Bell, Denise.
I just feel uncomfortable saying he's out there banging.
He's out here scoring, the big high school football star, quarterback and shit.
People say scoring. I hear it all the time in movies. All the time.
In movies. From like 1994.
How
Who says scoring, Denise?
Reg, when did this happen? Everybody says scoring. I
been a
hear it all the
while.
time.
It's been at minimum like 15 years. Nobody says
Is
that.
this like macking when no one says macking anymore?
Yeah, nobody.
I still say macking. I think it's funny.
I don't
It's a
also don't
funny
know, is that like an
word.
old like California term? Because I don't know if I hear that anywhere else, but like that's pretty Cali of like, oh, they were back there macking. Like, who says that?
Wait, people only say that here?
I want to say I think so, because that, but it just could be because that's what I've been hearing my whole life as somebody from California. Let us know in the chats. Do people say macking anywhere else?
Yeah, because I always thought it was a really funny word. Like I used to hate it. Like I used to hear it back in the day in school. They'd be like, all the boys like back in the day would be like, oh, you want to mac? And I'd be like, hell, I don't want to mac with you. And so then as I grew up, it ended up becoming this like funny term where I would throw it around and be like, oh, look at them. They're macking.
They're macking. Yeah. They're macking. You're taking me all the way back to 1996 with this shit, Denise. It's crazy out here.
Okay.
They're
Ty
macking.
says Beavis and Butthead.
Yes, exactly. And they talk like they are 1992.
Can you do the Beavis and Butthead laugh?
I can't.
Oh, I used to, but I can't anymore. I can't right now with this whole situation I'm dealing with. But Alexis P says they did in the early 2000s. And someone says, I still watch movies from the early 2000s. I do.
Me too. Yeah.
That's the era I'm most in love with, though. The early 2000s were my life. Okay, so apparently scoring is out. People
I think it's out, Denise.
Okay, so what's the appropriate thing to say?
I don't know. What is the other one? You
Bang.
scoring or banging? Yeah, banging, I guess. It just
But
all sounds so wild.
So I'm just trying to think, like, if you're a guy and another guy got some, how would I say? Because I only know, like, oh, you scored. Yeah, I scored.
Probably would say.
Got
Nobody
some?
says that, Denise. I scored. Oh, you scored? Yeah, I scored.
Okay, fine.
We're
You
not
got
all
some? I
football
got
jocks.
some.
You scored, dude. Yeah, I totally scored last
Someone says
night.
it's hitting it. You hit that?
Yeah,
I
something like
hate
that.
that, though. I hate that. I hate when people say you hit that
Okay,
because it
yes,
sounds
sir.
like just so so demeaning
I
towards
get
the
it.
women, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, you hit that. I hate
Mhm.
that. I
Mhm.
prefer
And you
scoring.
think scoring sounds better, it keeps it on the line. Like if
Yes.
somebody was like, "I scored," and you'd be like, "Yeah, okay, that's
Good
great
for
for a woman."
you.
Mhm.
But if
Good
he
for
says I hit that, like how rude, how dare
It
you?
sounds yeah, it's like Jungle Boy calling his girl a bitch. I get it. I totally understand. It all wraps around. Mhm.
Oh man. All right. And
Crazy.
apparently nobody says bang it anymore. I don't
Yeah,
even
see?
know.
Yeah, I'm saying like the times have changed, Denise, and we're falling behind. We got to get on TikTok.
I know, seriously. I need someone that's a lot younger to educate. This sounds I can't, but then how
Seriously.
am I gonna go up to somebody that's underage and be like, hey, what are you guys calling
Not
scoring now? All of a
underage.
sudden, that's just gonna be very inappropriate. Very
Please don't do
inappropriate.
that. Not underage, just younger age, like somebody that's
Yes,
like
thank you, thank you.
25, not
Someone
like
that's in their
9.
20s, please let
Yeah.
us know.
Yes.
All right, we got JR says, "What about tap?" Hate
No, I
that
don't
too.
think
I've
people
always
say that
hated that.
either. Yeah.
Tap that,
Anything
hate
hitting,
it.
tapping, yeah, I get
Don't
it.
like that. All right.
Mhm.
Well, let's press on from here.
Yeah.
Now that my cool card has been taken away from me,
So funny.
if I ever even had it.
Scoring. Mhm.
Someone had a comment here that I wanted to read here, and this was from David Ortiz, who says, "I
Mhm.
think if he was to say chick, he wouldn't get heat or reaction, and it would have been roll of the eye moment."
Yeah, I guess the bitch thing does kind of hit a little harder. It shows that he's a heel, but it's just like that line of like, is it like heel heat or fuck this guy heat? You know what I mean? Like, and you don't want people to be like really hating him because they think he's like some misogynist piece of shit or something, you know?
So, do we have hope for Jungle Boy as a heel? Do you have hope right now? Are you
At this
interested?
point, I'm getting this guy a heater, a big giant dinosaur potentially. I don't know, like if Luchasaurus was still there, this would be hitting a lot longer. He got this big menacing guy. Essentially, what Christian is doing, but Christian's so strong on the mic, it's different. I'd get somebody to talk for him, probably.
Right. But at the same time, it's like he's got to get out there, right?
He
Eventually and start
does.
cutting these promos on his own.
Yeah,
If not, you're babying him, you're coddling him.
yeah,
He's got to go out there.
he needs a different angle. He got to get angry or something. Like out of the laid back thing isn't working for me. He needs to like something. Maybe
He
just
needs
needs
to
to do it
believe
more.
it.
He needs more reps. He hasn't. How many times has he talked on the mic?
Right. That's what I'm saying. I think if he goes out there and he has more reps, and I
Mhm.
think there's a possibility his promos could get better. And I would also say,
Yeah.
like, have somebody run some lines with him. Have
Yes.
them go out there, not just say generic shit.
Yes, please, dude. Your
Yeah.
dad was a famous actor, one of the greatest of all time, some people would say. Run some lines like a damn actor. Don't just be like, just say this and then say bitch. Like, no, dude, we need something we could grab onto. And he has all the factors to be hated, Denise. All the things he was saying are reasons to hate this guy, but the way it was delivered just didn't hit hard enough.
Right. He needs to believe it for sure. And I
He
just
needs
think,
to
like,
believe it. That's the
yes.
thing. If I don't believe that you believe it, if I just think that you're reading a script or whatever, I'm not going to believe it. And like you were saying, show me that you're a baller. Show me that you're things. Show me that these things, so I can really be like, okay, I do hate this guy.
No, to me, it kind of gave me like frat boy vibes, right? Like, I'm just going to go
Right.
out there and be this annoying type of frat boy that you see in college movies or
Zac
whatever.
Efron and shit.
Yes, like this is what I think a bad guy is. But then it's
Mhm.
instead of him coming off as a cool bad guy, he's coming off like as a cowardly bad guy. And I don't know if that's the
Yeah.
direction that they were intending on going with Jungle Boy.
Yeah, the whole. How did you feel about Hook chasing him off? Do you feel like that ass him
It added to
diving
it.
into the car was pretty fucking funny though?
Yeah, that was pretty funny. No, but it did add to it where it's like, okay, he's supposed to be, he's a weenie, right? Like
He's a
he's not,
weenie.
he's a weenie. He's a weenie.
is that what they're going for? You think, Denise? Do you
I
think they
didn't
want
think
him
that
to
was
be a
they were
weenie?
originally going for. I think
He
it
can't
turned
be a
into a weenie.
Oh, that's brutal. That's a brutal way to go with this if
I
he's gonna be a
know.
weenie.
I don't think that's what it was supposed to be, but that's how it came
But it
out.
felt like a weenie, huh? Like, damn, this was a weenie. Like, Hook's chasing him. He's running full speed, trying to throw like trash in front of him. This guy's a weenie.
Exactly. Like, no offense, but if I'm
Christian
all of a
was
sudden,
right, Denise. Christian was right about this guy. He's a weenie. He's a loser.
like I'm just gonna be real. If you're bragging out here about banging the hottest biatch, like he said, or whatever, and then you're running away, all of a sudden, if I'm that girl, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I'm not interested anymore. You're out there running away. I ain't gonna be banging you anymore. You
cool.
said it yourself.
You ran, dude.
Right? No girl wants to date a weenie.
Exactly. Damn, Jungle Boy, you can't be looking like a weenie, bro. You got to get your lick back. Crazy. Yeah, he was running full speed. He like dove in, like his feet were in the air as he dove in the car. It's crazy.
My favorite part was actually when Hook threw the garbage cans and the security guard was just like,
he's like, whoa, what is this?
I want to know.
I'm not a part of this show.
Right? Like, how much did they give information to that security? Because to me, it felt like they told them nothing. Like, hey, bro, just stand there and just
he was just standing there, and they brought the camera, and he's like, I guess I'm in the shot now, and they just started running through it.
The security guard was my favorite part of this whole thing.
So you have hope for old JB?
I'm going to give him another chance. Let's give him another chance. Let's see how it works out. Because I do like Jungle Boy. I want this to work for him. I'm a fan of his. I want it to work. So for that, I'm going to give him another chance.
Yeah, and I think this is also a good time for Hook to get some shine in too. He hasn't really been a part of a feud where you can like really latch on to. And this is going to give him some legs. It's going to give him some more time to get out there and kind of develop more of a personality than just being like the young badass fool. But so I'm excited about it. It's off to a rocky start, but they'll get it.
Yeah. And unfortunately, off to a rocky start is also the we were supposed to be getting Ruby Soho versus Britt Baker, but unfortunately, Britt Baker was not able to make the show. They reported that she was on TV. They said that she was sick. And so this falls in line with Adam Cole and him being out of Forbidden Door for being sick. And that was kind of the explanation that they gave here. We got Ruby Soho versus Alexia Nicole. So this ended up just being a match so that Ruby Soho could get out there, get a win. She mocks Britt Baker during this, hits the lockjaw on the Alexia Nicole, and gets the win here. And then afterwards, she cuts a promo that I thought was, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it, because at first I kind of thought like, ooh, this is a little bit all over the place. Like the crowd's not really interested in what Ruby has to say. She throws shots at her at Britt Baker and Adam Cole's unborn children, saying that she hopes they never have kids because they're going to be weak little bastards. And I'm just there like, where is this going?
Why are you saying this? This is mean.
It picked up once she got onto the camera, and then she was like, I'm going to take your opportunity away of becoming two-time Owen Hart Cup winner. Exactly. But what did you make of this whole thing?
Yeah, just like you're saying here, the first part of it I didn't really love, of like throwing in the digs. Like, I understand you guys are the outcasts. That's kind of like Saraya's thing. She like that's a line that she would do, and I just you don't really see Ruby doing that. But yeah, when she got into the camera, she got locked in. I liked what she was saying there. This felt like they were like, okay, Britt's not going to be here. We got to get Ruby a match. But like the match is going to be nothing. It's more about the Ruby promo. And I don't really know if they probably should have had a little bit more match and a little bit shorter promo. For my liking, just like little longer match and then straight into the camera. You took my opportunity, I'm going to take yours. I'll see you next week type thing, instead of like that slow, like, and they're a bunch of losers and I bet they're faking the thing. Is like,
it was too much. It was too wordy. And then
it was too wordy.
Yes, it ended up pretty good at the end, but the whole thing just to get there, it took too long. All right. So Johnny TV. Johnny TV is now part of AEW. He looks to be aligned with QTV and Harley. And we're going to be getting a match, I think they said on Rampage, between Matt Hardy and Brother Zay versus QT and Johnny TV. What are you making of this so far?
If this means that QT is away from my big homie Powerhouse Hobbs, thank God, because I don't need it anymore. Why does QT keep latching on to these things? I like Johnny Nitro, Johnny TV, Johnny Mundo, Johnny whoever, whatever companies that he's in. I think he's a really great talent. I think this starting out is not going to be the way to go. The way for him to get over, put him in there with these badass luchadors, put him on Rampage, have him just go crazy. Him being a sidekick lackey to QT is gonna boggle him down, and he doesn't have time for that. You got to just let him go and do what he does best.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't have anything else to say about this. You nailed it on there. I agree. All right, so we got one more thing to get into, but before we do, just a heads up to everybody, I will be back this Friday to talk about Smackdown. It's going to be the go-home show into Money in the Bank, and I will be joined by Alex, Queen of the Ring. She will be here with me on Friday, and then on Saturday, I will be doing a Money in the Bank watch-along here on the channel. It's going to be a really good time, and then immediately afterwards, on the Fightful YouTube channel, it's going to be myself and Righteous Reg.
Hey.
We'll be there doing the post show for Money in the Bank. So you'll be getting a triple dose of me on Saturday because I'll be also doing Busted Open in the morning, then the watch along, and then our post show.
And then a collision post show too, or are you going crazy?
Afterwards, I have another job afterwards. I do like MMA backstage correspondence stuff. So I'm going to do that immediately after our post show.
Dope.
So yeah,
that's awesome.
Busy
so I got day
for the girl
Denise. She's outside.
I got 4 things planned for Saturday, so I need to heal up fast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, seriously. All right, so let's get into this main event. Our main event was Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara versus Darby, Allin, and Sting in a tornado tag team match, and this was made in the media scrum. Now, Reg, you didn't make it to this one, but did you see what happened with Jericho?
Yeah, what the hell? Weren't you like right there? Wasn't it like super close to you?
So here's the funny part. Where John was sitting at, John was the guy that got hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the seat I always sit in.
Oh,
and this time I walked in and I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit on the left today. The only reason I chose to sit on the left side was for a camera perspective. So the last scrum that we did, I was on the right side. Mm-hmm. On the right side, they always put the championship belt.
Right.
So if I'm shooting from the right, I don't get the very best view of the wrestler because the belt is blocking it. Right. So I saw that and I thought, you know what? I'm going to be on the left side today. So I switched to the left side for that reason. If not, my ass would have been the one who got hit by the freaking. So here's how it's. So Jericho legitimately surprised me. I was not. He fucking scared me because I just heard loud banging and like I wasn't expecting a run in. Mm-hmm. And so I turned. And he's, doing his thing, whatever. And I'm just here recording. I'm recording on 2 devices at this point, my phone and my camera, my camera and my phone, right? And then he gets the bat and he like throws it. It's like half of a water bottle, probably like this full. He throws it and I did this like little swerve motion. And then afterwards, I didn't know that he had hit John. And then all of a sudden, I hear him talking with another guy next to him, and he's like, oh, they're talking about blood. And I look, and the guy is gashed here. What? He is gashed here on the eyebrow, and he is bleeding from the eyebrow here. And he's got blood on his hands, and he's like, I'm okay. And I'm like, are you okay? What? And you can tell, if you look at the camera, like the scrum portion of it, you can tell that Tony's kind of like looking too. Like he's looking to see like what the situation is. Yeah. But what you're not seeing on camera is there's a bunch of other people that are looking to see what the situation is. And then finally he gets taken out and they do, I don't know what with him, and they help him out. And then he comes back and he's like, I'm good. And so I was like, okay, you're good. And then, all was fine and dandy. Like he wasn't upset. He didn't complain. He was perfectly like, you know what? Shit happens, right?
That's
but
crazy.
It was funny stuff.
It would have became all righteous wrestling that night from the suing I would have been doing. Give me your company, Tony Khan. Yes. What the hell's going on here?
Yes, I was saying the exact same thing. I was even thinking, damn, I should have sat there in that chair because if my ass would have fucking gotten hit and busted open,
Denise comes up,
I would have been there like, oh my god, my life is over.
Seriously,
Tony Khan is a billionaire and I need money.
They probably gave the homie a free t-shirt and he was like, thanks. No, dude, you better get paid out there.
Milk that shit.
That's crazy. Damn.
Yeah,
your brain told you not to sit there and something crazy happened in the fucking seat that you would.
Right? Right?
Wild.
Like, what the hell? And I was thinking to myself, there you go. I just lost millions right there.
Yeah.
That was my one shot at becoming a millionaire.
You're trying to become a millionaire with your little camera and video setup, but instead you should have been trying to get this lawsuit.
D. Laura says Denise would be like, my back, my
Yeah,
neck.
seriously.
I know,
Trying
all
to
of
get
a
this
sudden.
lawsuit. Crazy.
Oh man, I'm
Damn,
dead.
he was busted open though. That's wild.
He was like, I
That's
don't think he
crazy.
posted a picture or anything of it. Like, no one saw unless you were actually there and saw him. And the other thing was too that I started thinking, like, where did Jericho think that water bottle was gonna go?
Yeah, what was he thinking? This isn't a big arena, dude. It's a small room.
There was rows of people. Like, there was at least like 4-6 rows
Like,
of
this is
people
gonna
sitting
hit
there.
somebody, dude. Like,
Yes.
what was the plan here?
Like, if it wasn't John, it was going to be somebody else. It was somebody
Right.
was going to get hit there. So I thought that was kind of, I think obviously it was a spur of the moment. Didn't probably think like, hey, like this might actually hit somebody, and it did.
Mhm.
But anyway, so that was an
You would
experience.
think a veteran like him would have a little bit of something to not do that. That's crazy. Busted
But
somebody open.
Yeah. So that was an interesting thing. But it's crazy. It reminds me of like the butterfly effect too, where it's
Yeah.
like you make one decision and it
Mhm.
leads to something else. I made the decision to sit on the left.
Yep. And now
Oh,
no
man.
lawsuit. Crazy.
Yeah. All right, man.
Mhm.
JR sent in a super chat saying, I really enjoyed the Forbidden Door post scrum. Thanks, Denise, for the exclusive footage. Brian Danielson's segment was a good watch. It really
Mhm.
was. My favorite was Will Ospreay, actually. Did you get to see his media scrum?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it. I liked his shit that he was talking. He's very charismatic, man. You see why he's in the positions that he in, and he handled the scrum very well. A lot of times, some people are like, we be in those scrums and we're like, I don't even think this person wants to be here. Like, why are they out here? And he wasn't like that,
He was excited. He had that vibe of like that person you just want to be friends with. Like,
Totally.
I just want to be friends with Will Ospreay. Like, that's the vibe that I got from him.
Yeah, and he's an amazing wrestler too, coming off that match to be able to, get it together and get back in there is awesome. And the Brian Danielson stuff of him, talking about the broken arm, going through the match, but still being Brian Danielson and still being so humble and still being this incredible human being is just like, man, what a guy.
He always has good answers. So I'll tell you, because I do post all of these scrums here, and I get a mixture of people that watch these, and the comments can be very brutal, very brutal. I get a mix of everything. I get anti-AEW people, I get AEW fanatics, people that don't even watch wrestling, but somehow find their way into these scrums. I don't know how. So I read the comments, and they're brutal. They're savage, they're mean. Brian Danielson does not get any of those. He's the one of the only guys that I go through the comment. It's like, we love him.
He's so cool. What a guy.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Yes, he doesn't get that. So it is interesting to see that. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this main event that we were talking about here. Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin, Sting. Intertornado tag team match. And this starts off with Jericho hitting Sting with the bat. They then do this little back and forth where they're both hitting each other with the bat. And the big moment that had everybody going, oh shit, was when you saw 64-year-old Sting leap off that ladder onto Sammy that was set up on 2 tables. And unfortunately, Sting only caught a little bit of Sammy, but he still caught something. And this after that, we get back into the ring. Sting's great. He's fine. He gets locked into the walls of Jericho. He ends up breaking it up by hitting him with the bat. Jericho hits him with the code breaker. They go back and forth. Sting gets him with Scorpion Death Trap. And then finally, in the end, we do see Sting get the win here. And
what happened? I missed when Jericho got bloody. How did he get what happened to him?
When Jericho got bloody?
Yeah, because when him and Sting's part, it looked like there was a lot of blood shooting out of Jericho. I don't know if it was from Jericho or for something else, but at the end of the match, there was a lot of blood on the mat.
Maybe it was the bat stuff?
Could be.
When he hit him with the bat?
Could be.
I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, Sting, get your ass down, Grandpa. Stop jumping off of high ladders. This is crazy. Love of the game. You did it. You got so many clips at this point. We don't even need new highlight clips. We could just see that nice old Grandpa Sting walk out there with his bat, his stroller, a baby's in it, all kinds of shit. We need you to be good and well. And jumping off of ladders, busting your mouth, trying to keep up with these young go-hards is not really the way, bro. We don't need it. What'd you think about this match as a whole, though, besides the ladder spot?
Honestly, I thought as a whole it was fine. It was really just the ladder spot that was the big moment for me to go, ooh.
Yeah, right.
That
Without
was
that, it would
really
have
it.
been kind of.
It was just a bunch of stuff that was happening that wasn't even like that too great, to be honest. Like, I think it could have been better, but the moment with Sting and all of it, that was what actually kind of made this. Even though it wasn't perfect, it still made the gravitas was there for the moment.
Like, are they going to keep stretching out this Sammy and Jericho? Like, how long are they going to stretch out this slow Sammy's going to turn on him thing?
At this point, I even forgot that they were even going to do that. I was like, I don't know. I feel like this is their relationship all the time. Like, they do this all the time, Reg.
They do. You're right.
Like, they stop and start. I'm like, at this point, that's just how they get along.
That's just how they are. You guys like, you know, those couples where you're like, damn, they're fighting all the time. You're like, you guys just like this drama. That's it. You guys, that's it.
That's who they are.
I get it.
Exactly. Right. That's how I've almost felt about this, to the point where, like, I even forgot, like, oh yeah, at some point this is going to happen. But that was the whole thing. Remember when Darby was all up on Sammy's face telling him, like, are you going to finally leave the Jazz? And nothing ever came of that.
Nothing happened. He didn't leave. It seems like he's slowly teasing, like he's made a couple of looks like during promos and being like, I might be tired of this. But I thought they would do more in this match to do it, but it was like, no, this is just the Sting showcase pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, you know, a couple weeks ago, they were trying to get him over Sammy as a babyface because he's becoming a father. And now I feel like that's all gone. I almost feel like they're not on that anymore.
What's going on here? Why would they do that? It seems like they just like forgot about it, because I thought maybe like this is going to be the turn, but they didn't. They just like were a tag team that was friends for most of the match.
So is Sammy Guevara a heel still? Is he just a tweener? What is he? I don't even know what he is.
Because they were trying to do the baby. The baby thing was supposed to be like he's a baby face, right? Like, oh, baby face. You can't boo the guy with the baby face, even though they did boo him announcing his baby. I thought he was going to be a face coming out of this show, but he's just pretty still along the line, Jericho stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I thought this whole thing was made to get to this point where Sammy turns on Jericho or does something, because Darby was all up on his face telling him these things. And when Jericho came out, when they made this match, Jericho was all up on Sammy's face, and they had a disagreement.
Everybody's been giving Sammy shit, and he's just like, oh, that's cool. Jericho's my friend. This is our relationship.
Well, they need to figure this stuff out. I don't know what's happening over there. All right, we got Jericho Bull, who sends in a super chat saying, no other women on the show, ? Where was Taya or Chris? That was it for the women's stuff, literally.
Pretty short, yeah. They didn't really do anything, and people thought that they were going to cancel the match, but they had a segment. They got Collision coming up with Chris and Lady Frost this weekend, so they're going to get some heat.
Yeah, I agree. Justin Martin sends in a super chat saying, I hope we don't take Sting for granted. The oldest man active in major wrestling company is the one diving 15 feet off of a ladder through a table. Amazing. I know. And we don't know how much longer we're going to have Sting actively wrestle on TV. So the fact that we still even get these moments gets it every time. Yuri Allandero sends in a super chat saying, Jericho with the personal growth, giving the pin to a young upstart like Sting. That was a scary spot, though.
Two young men, 64 years old.
Amazing. Thank you so much to Yuri Landeros for making us laugh with that one. Alrighty, everyone. So there you go. That was AEW Dynamite, June 28th. Reg, do I still have you here for another show? What's the plan?
I don't know. What's going on here?
I don't know. You tell me. If you're available, you keep coming on, man.
I'm available, man. Let's keep this Wednesday night party going, Denise.
Let's keep it going, Reg.
Dynamite. We having a great time. We even made something out of this episode that you didn't like. You guys, Denise didn't like this episode. Let's have her say it out loud.
You exposed me right in the beginning.
Don't be trying to be fake, girl. Get it out. Let's know. Well, I want to hear how you feel about it. I was trying to be
nice about it, Reg. I was like, well, I like some things in the middle.
You did say that, huh? The middle was kind of good. You didn't like the middle, you liar.
I didn't like the middle. I liked one thing on the. You know what? Now that I'm here, I liked one thing on the show. I liked the opening match, and I liked the spot with Sting at the end. That was it for me. That was it.
A wash. And you only liked one spot in the end is so funny. I just like one spot of the last match. That's it. You can take the rest of that shit. Yeah. I don't know, man. Coming off of Forbidden Door, that was a huge show, one of the best wrestling shows we've seen of all time. And then it's like, oh, here's the Dynamite, you guys. It's like, what you mean? We just saw Forbidden Door. Give me some more of that. Where's Kenny Omega at? Say something about this. So
exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go, everybody. That was our show. We'll see you back here next week for AEW Dynamite. But of course, this Friday, I will be on with Alex, Queen of the Ring, talking about Smackdown, the go-home show into Money in the Bank. And then again, like I said, I will be here doing a watch-along for Money in the Bank here on the channel on Saturday. So if you want to come hang out, you want to chill. If not, you can catch me and Reg on Fightful doing the post-show. It'll be a good time. Thank you so much to everybody. And I will see you guys back here once again on Friday. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Peace.